The MP Okodi, when you 4 years, so I guess every month I said when you're 4 years, and so Chobia already MP 12 years, 20 years, blah.
Governor New Patriotic Party mourning tonight following sudden death of Deputy Finance Minister and MP for Ejisu John Kumah. The news left Parliament unable to continue its sitting today.
Honourable members, sitting is accordingly suspended. For good reason, the House will have to adjourn.
We have details from Parliament on the day. MPs were already admonishing each other to take care of their health and requesting better conditions of service for retired MPs.
You see your colleague coughing is there, and people are already wearing t-shirts and dancing around and jumping to replace him. Nobody's thinking about his family.
Nobody cares about you after here. They need you only when they have an emergency.
Tributes already pouring in across the political divide on the day the NDC announced Professor J. Nano Pokwuagyemang as John Mahama's running mate.
And therefore, the nomination, the name for the running mate, as you know already, is Professor Nana J. Pokwuagyemang. She will be the running mate for the NDC come after
The MP Okodi, when you're 4 years, so I guess every month I said when you're 4 years, and so Chobia already MP 12 years, 20 years, blah.
On the day the NDC announced Professor Jane Nano Pokwuagyemang as John Mahama's running mate, the death of Deputy Finance Minister John Kumah left shockwaves across the political divide. The death of the young politician, 45 years, brought sitting in Parliament today to an abrupt end. There have been tributes already beginning to pour in from across the political divide. The President himself has been speaking about this, and we will bring you that pretty shortly. We'll also bring you the very latest and what is happening in the Ashanti region. And it's the Ashanti region where I go right now, to his constituency, where he was a sitting member of Parliament. My colleague Nana Boakye-Yadom is in his house right now, has been talking to people there.
It has been a very sad day here in the Ejisu Constituency, especially at the house of the late MP for the constituency, who doubles as Deputy Finance Minister John Kumah. Well, his demise has really brought a lot of constituents into a very sad mood. Since 2 p.m. when the news really got out there, some of them have been saddened and have been coming into the family house to mourn with the family. We are currently in the house of the former MP, or the late MP John Kumah, and you can see a number of constituents from the Ejisu constituency, party faithfuls, who are gathered here to mourn with the family. They are saddened by what has happened to them today, especially in a mood when they really did not expect this to come into. Party executives have been here. The party chairman, for the Ejisu constituency, has been here. He says he would not want to speak to the matter because he's saddened by the news. Not long ago, you know that the MP, John Kumah, donated some amount of money to the Ejisu Senior High School after rains took off their roof. And so this thing coming out has been a very sad one for the constituents and residents of the Ejisu constituency. We are being told that yesterday he was expected to be at the Independence Day parade in the constituency, but when his illness really got critical, he was unable to attend attend. And so he got into his room. He was in his house here with his wife, his family, up until today when the news got out there that he was no more. But then he was being taken to Accra for him to board his flight to Germany to receive treatment. On his way, he passed on at the Suhum Government Hospital. I have a spokesperson here with me to tell us more about what really happened, and then because he was really with him and what he knows could have led to this unfortunate death. Thank you. You're live on JoyNews. Tell us more about what really happened today.
Well, it's a sad news. MP came to constituency last Tuesday for 6 March parade. So he was supposed to come to parade grounds yesterday. Unfortunately, he could not come. So we decided to call one of his doctors from Accra. So the doctor came yesterday, and he was in medication. So it came to a situation where he need to board a flight to Accra so that he take to Germany. Unfortunately, he was not fit to board a flight. So his wife came, and obviously his mom and dad is around. So we decided to brought ambulance to take him to Accra. And his senior brother was also standing by. His office were doing everything possible for him to travel tonight. When they passed to Suhum, the situation get critical. So they take him to Suhum Hospital. When he there, they pronounce him dead. So that is the situation. It was a news we least expected, because Dr. John Kumah, we know, is called Amansamboafo. In fact, people call him Amansamboafo. Emebroni Daso. Or is somebody when you come to Dr. John Kumah, you know, if cannot solve your problems, or at least he will solve some. So it's a tragedy. It's Black Thursday for us. And Ejisu Constituency, we are mourning our MP, our boss, our friend. John Kumah is a very humble person, extremely humble. So it's great, terrible news to us.
Looking at the work that he has done in the constituency, you call him the Amansan Boafo. I can see a number of constituents coming here to mourn with the family. What is the state of his family at the moment? I know definitely it's a sad one in there, but then are they fine? Are they okay? How did they really receive the news?
His mom and dad, they are aged, because they're about 10 days ago where his dad celebrated his 75th birthday. So it's not easy. It's not easy. They are taking enough pain. Yes. Unfortunately, he was with his wife. That happened when the situation happened. So his wife is in Accra right now. That is what I can say.
Okay, so his wife and his children, they are all in Accra?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And that is the spokesperson for the Member of Parliament for the Ejisu Constituency and Deputy Finance Minister John Kumah. And he says that the family, especially his wife and his children, are all in Accra, going to mourn with the other family members there. But then inside his private residence here in the Ejisu Constituency, you have a number of residents who have been here who are crying, who are mourning, who are saddened by what has happened today. They say it is a Black Thursday for them, and so they really are saddened by the news after it broke. Let me.
And that there is Nana Boachi-Yadom, they're reporting from the residents of the Deputy Finance Minister, who tonight is no more with us. He passed, as we've been hearing earlier today. And I want to bring in right now the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei Mensah, who joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Osei, thanks for your time here on Top Story. Hello, Mr. Osei Mensah. Hello, Mr. Osei Mensah. I'll get his attention pretty shortly. And he's a man who knew John Kumah closely. His constituency at the time, he himself was a stalwart as far as Ashanti Region is concerned, in the constituency that he himself was the MP of, shared a border. And so they were very close. Joins us now. Mr. Mr. Thanks for the time here on Top Story.
Thank you very much.
It is indeed a tragic day, and I know you knew him very, very well. What have you been told? What happened really?
All right, thank you very much, and greetings, Dr. Council. But very unfortunately, this was a tender blue something in our heart. Actually, I've known Honorable John Kumah for a long while, even before he became Member of Parliament. Actually, when he later the intention of contesting the local seat, that time I was a Member of Parliament for something. He even approached me, and we had discussion. And that time, we've been very, very close friends. We share common friends. For instance, Mr. Asante, who is CEO of Reminiscence, is a common friend. The former Chief Justice, His Lordship, Amin Yabua, is a common friend. There's one Dr. Buati. So we meet often and have very fruitful discussion quite often. Just about a week ago, or later than about a week, we evening met at Offenso Mahima program at Gabin. And we were together having several conversations. Even before then, he had paid a courtesy call on me together with the new finance minister, Honorable Adam. And we had very good discussion. So then I told him that, John, now I think you are looking better. And then he said, yes, after coming or returning from Germany, now things are far better. I can see that I'm very confident. Nobody thought he was going to die. It's a dumb, brilliant guy who has a very bright future. And to lose such a man at this time, it's a big blow to our country. It's a big blow to our party. It's a big blow to this country. I think our faith rather that if the lack of the late to do what they do, I can't complain. If there is anything all I do, and just as a way of talking for now, I'm the family about. Let's talk later. I beg you.
And I know this is a very difficult moment for you. And you talked about the fact that you told him when you saw him that he was looking better. And that, as you can imagine, is a very, very difficult time for a lot of people who knew him. As Simon Mensah is the Ashanti Regional Minister. When he was a MP, his constituency shared a boundary with his in Ejisu. They were very close. He's just given us an insight into what may have happened to him there. He wasn't well. He's been to Germany, as you just heard him say, receiving some medical attention return. He says he saw him and told him that he was looking better, and he responded yes. After the treatment he received, he was recovering. Nobody expected that this tragic outcome is what indeed would have happened. I want to bring in my colleague Nanabwachi Yadom, who's been in his house right now. Nanabwachi Yadom is on the line with us, and he's going to give us a bit more. And Nana, you've been in his house. I've heard you talk to his spokesperson about what really happened. From the narration that he gave, he may have given up the ghost in the Suhum hospital.
Yes, actually, In fact, I wasn't aware that he even came for the weekend. It was hello. It was later when I heard of the death. Evans. Hello.
Simon Mensah is still with me, and I want to hear him. Mr. Mensah, you were making the point about where he died.
Yes, actually, when I heard of the death today, then I called the constituency chairman for briefing. So that time I was told that he came down to the constituency with the intention of attending the 5th March parade. Unfortunately, during the night, he fell sick and could not make it to the parade ground. So he requested the constituency chairman to represent him at the parade. And then during the night, he felt the condition was getting worse and decided to rush him to Accra so that he could plane to Germany for further checkup. It was on the way that they had to branch to Shulum Hospital because they realized that the situation was deteriorating very, very fast. Very, very fast. And at the hospital that he could not make it. It's a very sad situation, a very pathetic situation. Both for the family, for people of Ashanti Region, the New Patriotic Party, the government, the country as a whole.
From what you say, he's been
bright and intelligent guy.
From what you say, he's been unwell for some time.
Well, even he went to Germany for treatment before the Christmas holiday. So he was rushing back so that he could plane to Germany to further seek medical attention. And that is when he couldn't make it on the way to Accra. You know, they had wanted to do the domestic flight. They realized the condition was that it was more risky. So the best thing was to use with an ambulance.
As I'm driving from Kumasi to Accra and then airlifting from Accra to Kotoka International Airport to Germany?
Because, you know, the domestic flight, they were not sure if he got worse on the flight. There was no medical doctor to take care. So they felt in an ambulance with medical doctors. Yes, so that the medical team could have taken care until he got to Accra. And then efforts were being made to for him to fly to Germany to go and continue with the medication. That is on the way that he couldn't make it.
I mean, it's a tragic day indeed. Do we know what really was wrong with him?
I can't tell because I don't have his medical report. Even it was when he paid a courtesy call made with the new finance minister that he informed me that he just returned from Germany. Yeah, and for medical checkup. So I couldn't discuss with him what was actually wrong. That one I couldn't do.
We've lost him, obviously, in tragic circumstances. How do you remember him? What's your fondest memory of him?
I think I've said it earlier. I remember this is an affable guy, very humble. He loves everybody, both the young and old, both superiors. So he has been my friend. As I said earlier, we have common friends. And I mentioned some of them, like Mr. Tabimpa, who is the CEO for Nima Industries, the former Chief Justice, Dr. Kwaku of Phoenix, the constituency chairman of Ejisu. We are all friends. The constituency chairman for Ejisu has been my friend for almost 30 years. Exactly. Although there are several common friends, and we have been meeting to have general discussions, some of them about the party, some of them about the region, especially when it comes to the road sector, how he could help us get some payment for some of the contractors. So he's been very friend. And I've known him when I was member of parliament for Bosomchi. When he had the intention of contesting as a member of parliament. Because we share boundary, he came to me for us to have some discussions. And since that time, I've known him. He's a very brilliant, intelligent guy. It's painful that we've lost such a person.
And our condolences indeed to yourself, and especially to the wife and the 6 children. And then there's a lot that we're beginning to learn tonight about the circumstances surrounding the death of the Deputy Finance Minister, John Kumah. And as you can hear in the background, we've just been listening there to Simon Osei Mensah, who is the Ashanti Regional Minister, talking to us. But you could hear just see the devastation in the background, the wailing and the crying that is engulfed the constituency. My colleague, Nanabuachi Yadom, has been talking to the constituents, and he joins us right now. And then you've been to both the party office and also to his residence, and it's a pretty mournful period, is it not? I mean, the sort of testimonies you're hearing of who he was, but also the sheer tragedy that has befallen the people there, and he expressing it and not holding back. A few people my colleague spoke to, talking to him a short while ago.
Something. Me kura nipa no di kan frame no frame frifrata house na me senye no kure ma nye ni. Nti me ne je achinyi no se Abigail me ka sem a oji machinyi wo kura se wo fie na me se me wo fie. Nti okate me na me se da bi me frame me PM. Na me frame me PM. Nti me frame PM na se me PM susu. Na me wo kwa kura me faso amebo. Afa me wo dia me nya. Me MP me boni o. Ni pa boni fu obi adiewu.
Okay, so what she is trying to say is that she heard of the news from her PM in the afternoon. When she first heard it from elsewhere, she really did not believe it, but then she had to confirm from one of the party executives, and then upon calling the party executive, she got the confirmation that indeed the member of parliament for the Ejisu Constituency is no more. Money John and Kumah at the constituency hadn't say no. Emuta say onimudi the same.
Dear, when you be in a year, Onimakwala, Onimpenini, or the do Satumkra or Beddi, on Traneho, or boy a bebreti, Joshua Tuni, dear Mansan Boafua, no, I just say raining near, just our boy, and your John who say, yeah, family Bunukra Juma or Joso, and you're not anymore. Now me cry, and rank one poor Nimidinkra, Naminim Samian me na minim se me people be know and run kwan on the Dinkra na se wonim se obeja me ho na me su de na minim.
Well, she's really saddened by the news. She's
Papa na me wo fuom me tie we frame I am mame o mame wo ba na yesu wawu oboka me manye
and pretty tragic moment there in the house of the late Deputy Finance Minister. I want to take it to Parliament now, and my colleague Kwaku Asante joins me right now on the line. And Kwaku, today Parliament was forced to adjourn when they heard the news. Has this now been formally communicated to the House?
Today, quite coincidentally, MPs were discussing matters of death of their own colleagues. Were paying tribute to some 2 MPs who already passed on. And it was amidst that conversation that a message was passed to the Speaker of Parliament. And I was just looking at him in that reaction. He just slumped back into his chair and he was speaking, but for the next 5-10 seconds, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Badwin, was just quiet. He was quiet for some time, and the news was filtering to the minority and majority leaderships were all conferring among themselves. And it was at that time that we got the indication that some really bad news had come. And then the Speaker of Parliament just spoke that certain matters have compelled him to suspend matters. He suspends that sitting for about 10-20 minutes. The House came back with leadership having been conversing about this death of the former Deputy Finance Minister and Member of Parliament for Ejisu, who was already who was actually in Parliament this week. And so officially, MPs have not been informed because the Speaker of Parliament would want to wait for the family to inform him about this death. But because of the urgent of the nature and how the mood of the House had become, the Deputy Finance Minister, I could sense that she was weeping uncontrollably whilst on the floor. The finance ministry issues and all these things that have come up, the Speaker of Parliament decided, together with leadership, that the House could not continue doing the business that they are scheduled to do, and they had to adjourn.
Is accordingly suspended. For good reason, the House will have to adjourn.
And Kwaku, you make the point that even before this became an issue on the floor and before parliamentarians got to know that this tragic event had indeed happened, they were already talking about the health of MPs.
In fact, Muntaka Mubarak and other MPs were eulogizing some 2 MPs who have already passed on. And Muntaka Mubarak makes the point about the need for MPs to take care of themselves, and that indeed, if an MP were to fall right now and were dead, even before the person would be buried, people will be clamoring for their seats. And so it is important for MPs to put their health first and ensure that they are almost always in good health.
Because beyond this house, believe me, nobody thinks about you. If you think anybody will be thinking about you, forget it. Look, I don't know, those in the chamber today, you are lucky you've not seen any by-election. That result, we had Kumo. You see your colleague coughing is there. And people are already wearing T-shirts and dancing around and jumping to replace him. Nobody is thinking about his family. Nobody is thinking about students. Nobody is thinking about how the family are, the pain they are going through. They are just happily to replace him. So each of us who is sitting here, if you think you are this important, I'm reminding you, you are not important at all to anybody, including your own constituents. Let us build a family here. If you are sick and you have served this chamber for even 4 years, why can't they still take care of you? Somebody who has served 20 years, they said couldn't take care of him. He has to lament to go back home and die. Today is Lokomo, Honorable Lokomo. Who knows? Tomorrow it could be me. Who knows? It could be you. But we are not talking about the things that will protect each and every one of us beyond this chamber.
And Kwaku, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joe Sosu, who also comes from the Ashanti region, also had the word of advice for his own colleagues.
Yes, in fact, following from the lead that Muntaka Mubarak had set, he also makes the point that MPs are not so important to their constituents just in terms of what they can provide. And so it is almost always important for these persons to ensure that they are in good health.
And Kwaku, thank you very much for that. The reports there from Parliament today where the House was forced to adjourn on the back of the tragic news that the Deputy Finance Minister, John Kumah, had passed. And indeed today we're beginning to learn a bit more about the work he did both as a youth activist but also as the CEO of the NYEP, but also as the Deputy Finance Minister. So who was he? Masola Bagba picks up the story.